All right, so we did bundles, we did timing, we did holidays and observances. Now we're going to talk about what to sell. And we've already been through a lot of what to sell. So we're just going to fly through some of these things because while we were talking about all the holidays, we gave you a lot of what to sell. But there's some special nuggets in here that I personally love that have worked for my business year over year over year. So we're going to share some of that. So Amy, you talk about edibles.
Edibles, 60% of my business is in food, and people like to give it as gifts. People like to make it. People like to consume it. There are a lot of different avenues you can go with edibles this time of year. So you're talking about making sure people have hostess gifts. You're talking about making sure people have the products that they need to make whatever it is they want to make for their holiday dinners. You're talking about somebody likes this favorite. Somebody asked me to get them this weird thing I'd never heard of before, but it was available on Amazon. So guess what? I bought them. So think of it as a gift. Think of it all ways you can use an edible item and put it out there.
Okay. And then I'm going to talk about one of my personal favorites is large, oversized items. I BOLO'd something last year we do a Black Friday class, and we're going to do that again this year. And with the expected changes, a lot of people are like, is your Black Friday strategy going to change because of all the restricted brands? And I'm like, about this much, because I sell things that other people won't. Like large, oversized Power Wheels cars. I BOLO'd that last year during Black Friday. I said, listen, you guys, this is going to be a good seller. It's at Walmart for $99. It's notoriously sells for between $300 and $400. And I literally packed those in my minivan, bought 4 of them from Walmart on like this. I mean, you guys, if you've ever seen me, I'm all of like 5'1", and the thing was bigger than me. And my husband was with us, and there was 4 of them. I mean, we bought those and sold them all between $350 and $400. All of them. Most of them sold for $389.99. How did I ship that? I actually Frankenboxed it. I put it in a box. So I took a large size box from Home Depot and I kind of wrapped it in cardboard. I'm like, pardon my language, but I wrapped the shit out of it. Like with tape, I wouldn't, because something is buying in that as a gift and I don't want it to get messed up. So I literally basically like gave it, built a box around it. We call that Frankenboxing. And we just basically cut a box up, kind of melted together, and then tape, probably a whole roll of tape. And we did that with 4 of those Audi cars, and we sold every single one of them within a couple weeks and for almost $400. I mean, why chase around $10 items when I can make $100 to $200 a pop with one box? Like, yeah, I Frankenboxed it, so it's just cardboard. You just buy a $1.50 box from Home Depot and wrap it with a bunch of tape. It cost me $3. Like, no big deal. So big, large, expensive items. So things like people... When I say this is because people usually wait till Christmas to buy that thing.
They have to hide it.
The big, large toy from Amazon. And by the way, that's another reason why I say don't panic. Because with those Audi cars, a lot of them sold really close to Christmas because people don't have anywhere to put them. They're like, we have to put this somewhere for 3 days until little Johnny can open it. And so it's just one of those things that's something don't panic about. The things they sell, if it really shows in the research that they sell, they really do sell. So don't panic. Big, large, expensive items. People usually wait to buy those things for Christmas time. They wait. Like, if your little girl wants a step 2 kitchen or some sort of a kitchen, it's generally not something you just buy in the middle of September because you feel like it. Like, usually wait for Christmas or birthdays to buy something that's larger and more expensive. So those are some of my favorite things.
Now, the other thing we haven't talked about at all for Q4 is the weather. We're starting to get into the beginning of winter. And so a lot of things, Kristen's least favorite time of the year. I love snow. She lives in Michigan for some reason. I don't get to go and have fun with the snow. But anyway, winter hats, ice skates, any kind of skiing equipment, things like that are big sellers. People, especially the more expensive items, think gift. Think people don't want to buy it themselves. They're going to ask for those types of things for gifts. So those hot warmer things that go inside your gloves or inside your ski boots or whatever.
Toasty toes. I love those.
Those things, yes, hot hands. They're the greatest things ever. They keep your fingers nice and warm, and they're great. Great stocking stuffers. Put them together in a bundle. Heaters, things for your car, like anything, ice scrapers, all that type of stuff. It's in the stores that time of year. Come February, you can't find a hat in a store anywhere because the flip-flops are on the shelf. So it's available, and then you can keep it going all the way through March when people in the northern regions are still buying those things.
Absolutely. It's so true. Last year we struggled to find snow pants at the end of January, beginning of February, when we thought, kids outgrow their stuff all of a sudden. So just think about that. Kids' boots sizes. I even had a client of mine, a friend of mine, ask me, they're like, this is on clearance at Meijer, and I'm not sure about this because it's going to be a brand new listing. And I wonder if they're going to sell. And I'm like, they will sell. They're a general color. They're a general size. They're going to sell, create the listing. And sure enough, you're like, yes, that's awesome. Because, when you're looking for black snow pants, I don't care if they're Land's End or Under Armour or whatever. I just need some black snow pants. Like, give me the size 5 that I need.
So my kid can go play in the snow.
Right. So don't forget that kind of stuff. Boots, underlayers, cuddle duds, things like that. For you guys warmer weather people, don't even know what that stuff is.
I don't even know what a cuddle dud is.
Really? It's the underlayer that you wear under your clothes so that it's like thermal underwear, but it's not thermal. It's just, it's an underlayer. It's fabulous.
That's
so warmer weather stuff, and then accessories to popular items. So these are things you had to think about. Any accessory that could possibly go with something that is going to be a hot seller. So, you might not sell the actual, whatever. Last year it was the Imaginext dinosaur castle thing that's really big. If you don't want to sell that, because obviously every Target has it, every Toys R Us has it, Amazon has it, they're not going to go out of stock. Sell the accessories. Sell an accessory kit that goes with something like that, or anything that would be fun in those realms. And if someone's looking for dinosaurs, they're going to look for other stuff. So think about what goes well with those things.
Appliances, kitchen appliances are something that a lot of people get as gifts, but a lot of kitchen appliances have attachments, have other parts to them, and they don't always come with the part that you originally get. All right, Paula has a question. She says, Amy, do you source edibles from RA or wholesale? I do both, but I will be honest that 90% of what I buy is RA. And that has to do with the fact that I don't need to buy a tractor trailer load of a lot of my replens every single week. And that is, distributors require that. And so I actually get a better deal at a grocery store because they buy quantity.
Absolutely. And that's the struggle is real. I mean, any wholesaler most, not specialty candies and things like that. Those are easier to get a hold of. And I have some wholesale accounts with some of those people, but your average run of the mill grocery type items, we're not going to get wholesale because they do require, one of them, the people said 3,000 pounds a week in a specific product. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I can't commit to that. I could commit to that once a month, maybe, but I was like, no, that's not going to work. So a lot of wholesale grocery items, they have to sell in bulk because their stuff's $1 or $2 each. And so they have to sell in bulk to make their money. So that's the kind of what to sell. We missed some. Anything that you give. So you're thinking about all the kids, all the family members, grandpa, grandma, your boss, the UPS guy, the neighbors, teachers, in-laws, all the kinds of people that you would think of to buy anything that you give and everything that you've received. Sit down and just make a list of all the good and the crappy stuff that you've ever gotten as gifts and say, this is what people give. Someone's buying this and giving it. So make sure you think about that. And also last year's hot sellers. I'm going to say this again because it's true. Last year's hot sellers, a lot of times are still sell really well. They're not going to be in the top 100, but they're going to be in the top still. Why? Because little Susie or little Johnny didn't get that thing they really wanted last year and they still want that thing. My daughter's the example of that because she just mentioned this the other day. She wanted the Star Lily horse from last year, the Star Lily For Real Friends unicorn horse thing from last year that's like, ginormous. And I was like, I don't want that in my living room. And it talks and it moves and it lights up. And I was like, no, but that was the bolo that I gave out. Why? Because I knew it would be an amazing seller. And I knew each store only had room on the shelf for 2 or 3 of them at a time. And in the case pack, they only came in 2s. So most stores didn't have a lot of them and didn't get a lot of them in. So that makes the bolo right there. That bigger, larger items, stores are only going to get a few shipments of those at a time. They're going to get a whole box of Shopkins with like 5-6 cases, but they might only get 2 cases of Star Lily horse, and there's only 2 in there. So that means the store only has 4 available for Lord knows how long. That's why it makes it a great bolo. So those are things, look for that again this year. When Amazon does not have that, it sells for $2 to $2.50. And it's $89.99 right now. And you can probably get a coupon from Target, from Cartwheel, from somewhere like that, and maybe get it even cheaper. So it's just something to consider. Last year, it sold out as predicted. And it still, throughout this year, has made itself run. Every time Amazon goes out of stock, if somebody's paying attention, price goes up to $200. So just saying.
Now, another one that we haven't talked about is Christmas time, Christmas cards. Not the Christmas cards themselves, but family portraits are huge this time of year. Matching outfits, matching clothes. Your kids are all dressed up. Ugly sweaters. There's all that type of stuff you can put together. You want your whole family to dress the same. Put together little outfits. Silly things that people wear. Hats. My mom is big on Santa hats. For whatever reason, everybody at Christmas Eve has to wear a Santa hat. So we have a variety. But all those different things, think of what people are doing and what they're wearing. Because what they're wearing is something that you can provide them on Amazon.
Especially, yeah, and just think about that. And that's going to be early in Q4, okay? Because most people want to get their pictures and have them printed and have the Christmas cards sent out like by December 1st. So they're taking their pictures a couple of weeks ahead of time from that because they have to get them printed, or if they wait or whatever it is, even if they do Costco or whatever, they still need some time. So most people are thinking about that early. So you got about a month to 6 weeks to really get that stuff in before people really start buying it. So they can, and good places to check are like Kohl's and a lot of online stores. Maybe you can buy clothing from, like, you know, those cute little sweater vests with the little ties for little toddlers and little matching, you know, it's cute, it's adorable. Like, that's what people want. So think about those, and outfits for Christmas parties and office parties. And everybody wants to dress to the nines and look great at their office party, you know, so why not? And the ugly sweaters, eBay is the place for those. Honestly, I've made a killing on ugly sweaters the last couple of years because I buy them at garage sales all summer long. And I have little old ladies like, oh my gosh, like, look at how you're going to buy the cute sweater. And I'm like, inside I'm dying. I'm like, yeah.
Because they loved it, and they were teachers or they were nurses or whatever. They wore these and they loved them. My grandmother lived in those.
So naughty. I love it.
Or I wish I had that collection because she had.
Oh, you're getting one for Christmas, Amy. Watch your mailbox.
And she's going to make me wear it on Mommy Income Live. I guarantee it. We'll have an ugly Christmas sweater show.
We should. That's an amazing idea. We should give away prizes if people are going to post pictures. Oh my gosh. Write that idea down. I'm not kidding. Okay, moving on. Thinking beyond toys. You guys, we're not even talking a lot about toys. Why? Because there's umpteen million other things to sell in Q4. I mean, toys are great. You don't want to completely ignore them. But if it's not something you're familiar with and you're thinking, oh, I better learn how to sell toys, forget about it. Sell other things. There's so many more things to sell. We've already talked about some hostess gifts, just things like that to write down. Hostess gifts, bottles of wine, or wine holders, or wine accessories.
Wine a lot of accessories are huge.
Decorating stuff.
Yeah, decorating. Just because you don't decorate your house, I don't decorate my house. Every other house on my block, it goes nuts. And we're talking lights, we're talking candy cane, everything. The whole yards are decorated, the whole houses are decorated. Where do you think they get that stuff? Mm-hmm. So make sure you have it available to them. Pay attention
All right, we're going to move a little bit more quickly now. Decorating employees and bosses' gifts, hostess gifts, parties, household stuff. We've already talked about these things. Culture and religion. Don't forget about that. Even if it's something that you don't participate in or it's not, familiar to you. I'm very unfamiliar with Hanukkah, but this year I'm thinking about it because it's such an untapped market on Amazon. There's not a lot available. And if you make it available, they will buy it. Someone will buy it. So I'm going to think a little bit. I'm going to add that to my strategy this year. So with those things, that was kind of the what to sell. Don't forget about the large items, bikes, Power Wheels, sporting goods, and expensive stuff. Don't be afraid to buy the really expensive collectible ornament that somebody really wants, because this is the time that people are going to spend the money.
Yeah, very true.